Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you today with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 5. After we went over issue 4, I couldn't wait, went down and hunted a relatively affordable issue of 5. And I'm glad that I did. This is a second printing. And I have to say, the original covers that Laird and Eastman did, they're beautiful, but this one and the way that these wrap around the cover like this, whew. And Raphael brandishing a pistol and a sci, forget about it. That is what you call a great cover. Now, this is the print date is November 1987. And at the end of the last issue, when the Turtles infiltrate the TCRI building to find Splinter, they come across, I can't remember what Krang's race in the comics were called that inspired him. But they're trying to get away from them. They end up at a transmatter device, and they end up in this weird-ass dimension. Now, before we talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles co-starring Fugitoid, this is Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, co-creators, writers, artists. And the lettering was Steve Levine. So the Turtles have no idea what just happened to them. All they know is now they're up against a whole another thing of, out of the frying pan and into the, what is that? You guys know what I'm saying. I haven't had enough coffee. But just love this old school black and white. And Mike's injured. Leo's, spitting the commands. And Fugitoid saying, these, whatever these creatures are, they're inadvertently helping me so I can escape the, what are they called? We'll have to talk, I can't remember what the name of this elite military force is. But when Fugitoid goes to run, he says, hey, I can smash through this fence. I can escape it. No, I can't just run out on these little guys. And so he saves the Turtles. And they go to help each other. They end up on this rooftop, and I love how, hey, that garbage truck, we can jump in there. And Honeycutt's just like, no, I can't. I hate heights. Sure you can. And they all just go, wonk. And Leo, of all people, so long, dung balls. Who says dung balls? I'm going to start using that. That's hilarious. But anyway, story aside, I just love this, the non-detailed black and whiteness of the comics here. They're like, this doesn't even look like Earth, and it looks like some sort of dystopian New York or Gotham City, like a Batman Beyond type world. And this is where Honeycutt talks about the transmatter device, and how he was working on one himself, and how he was at one point a human and not a robot. If you guys want to know what happens, I'm going to ask y'all to either try to get these individual issues or pick up the omnibus that has these old books, because I don't want to give the whole thing away. Needless to say, this is kind of one of these dystopian futures where robots don't have rights, and everyone's kind of found out what Professor Honeycutt's all about, and now they want him. But it's not just, what is it? Headquarters of General Blank. I don't remember what the military name is. He wants him because Honeycutt was part of the military, and then the Triceratons want him as well for their own machinations. And I just love the detail here with the inks. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, the Turtles and all them need a place to lay low, so they end up at this bar. Now, if that doesn't look like Mos Eisley's Space Tavern, I don't know what does, but you can totally see the Star Wars inspiration on point here. There's a lot of science fiction references in this comic, and it is great. Especially when Mikey tries the alcoholic beverage. It's called Zupkuk or something like that. He goes, smells funny. Zupkuk! Hey, far out. It adds to it. And why we have a moment of levity, the military jumps in, and where is it? Right here. Raph just pulls out this pistol and eat laser scum, and we just go into a cacophony of madness, high-flying adventures, which I can totally see where the TV show got the inspiration for the hot rodders from Dimension X or whatever it was. You can see their hot rod style there. They have to save Professor Honeycutt because the Triceratons again want him, and then the military of this world. I can't remember what the name of them are. But there's just so much freaking action. Lots of gunplay, lots of ass kicking. And then, real quick, right when you're in the middle of the book, it says, we temporarily interrupt this comic book for a special announcement. Now, I was going to skip over this, but I'm glad that I didn't, because at this point, this is a time capsule. It says, did you ever have a secret, a really neat one that you were just dying to tell everyone right away, but you couldn't because it would, if you let it out too soon, it could spoil things? Well, we've been in that quandary since last year, but now we can finally let the turtle out of the bag. It all started back in August of '86, and they're talking about Mark Freeman becoming their agent. They said within an amazingly short period of time, Mark had lined a potential deal for a major toy line action figure vehicles in the works. So we're flown out to sunny La Mirada, California to meet with the fine folks at Playmates. Of course, what's a line of action figures without an animated series backing them up? After a couple of false starts, we were chosen for the company that would produce the animation. So far, the last year, these things have been in progress. And if things go as planned, you should start seeing toys in January of 1988, and the cartoon series the last week of December. And in the toy line will be 10 action figures to start with. All 4 Turtles, Splinter, April, and Shredder, a Foot Soldier, and 2 new evil characters, Rocksteady and Bebop. And they go on to talk about the Turtle Blimp, the Technodrome, the Techno Driller, the Turtle Van. Guys, this... Oh. I'm sure when people read this back in the day, it was something new, but now that, I grew up through that era when it came out, reading this, it was just like, holy crap, that is so awesome. I couldn't help myself. I had to share that with y'all. That just hit me in a nice nostalgic feel. And then we get a black and white promo of the first turtle figures, and oh man, I remember these. I still have them. Memories. Anyway, moving on. Sci-fi adventure. I mean, look at this. If you don't see like 2001 Space Odyssey, Star Trek, Star Wars in this, just gorgeous stuff. I mean, look at this planet made out of frickin' rock, out of an asteroid with its own jetties and its own propulsion system. Awesome stuff. And then before we can get any further into it, it's another cliffhanger with a spooky backup story. Which, real quick, I love this because as you look at the headstones, it says Hetfield, Ulrich, Hammett, Burton. Remember, this was early 80s, so Cliff Burton was still alive at this point, I believe. And then we get more down here. Frank Frazetta, Brigman, and then, of course, you have to have Eastman and Levine and Laird. Just cool little stuff. And it's a fun little story with Raphael, and you could see the inspiration for the Universal monsters. You see Frankenstein, you see Count Olaf, because that's very much more Olaf than Bela Lugosi. But yeah, guys, this comic book was silly in all the right ways. Absolutely entertaining, 10 out of 10. So if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and either see if you can get these individual issues, which are getting harder and harder to get a hold of. And if not, I believe all these were collected in an omnibus through IDW, so make sure to check that out as well. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little cowabunga bell next to subscribe, that way we can continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope y'all continue to have an absolutely tubular day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.